How has the last 1 year been for you, considering, FY21 has also come to an end? Have you seen a phenomenal growth that you saw in the last year, and or has the pandemic catapulted your growth, considering online also picked up significantly during this year?
Said a lot of people came online. The number of people who are comfortable buying online is far higher. And for an agile, digitally savvy company like us, it's much easier to compete with large competitors on a 5-inch screen as opposed to in 2 million stores. So that gave us competitive advantage. So these two things put together, we are now almost 4 times bigger than what we were pre-COVID, and growing much faster. I do feel that this online froth will go away in the next 3 to 6 months. It's not as it's not going to be as exciting as people think it is. Suddenly we're going to become China in 2 years on online penetration, but it's definitely created a new step change. So that's good for us.
Would this kind of growth in revenue also cause you to, push you to break even, at least at
Uh,
an operating level?
yeah. So a good part about personal care businesses like us is we have very high gross margins, right? We operate at 60% plus gross margins because of the nature of the industry. That allows break even to happen in a much more controlled manner. Um, it's always a choice, Charlene, between revenue growth and profitability. We can choose to break even today, but at a lower revenue growth. And if you want to press the pedal on acceleration, then you have to compromise profitability in the short term. So I think these are kind of choices more than capability to get there. And I'm hoping that maybe at 2 times our scale, we will be a cash producing company.
And can you give us an idea as to how your customer base has grown since inception, and what is your repeat customer base? As of now, what does your customer base stand at?
We have upwards of 2 million customers. That's an estimate, of which we believe there's for 40, and we believe that our product is our best marketer. If I were to put any bets of mine, it is in sampling our products and letting people take a choice later on. So we have 2 million customers, and we believe that for more than 50% of those customers, we are a product of choice when they go to buy the same category. So if someone is using our shaving cream and wants to go and buy another shaving cream, they're definitely a consideration option for that individual. What is the repeat rate is impossible to calculate because of obvious reasons or challenges with omnichannel. I don't know if someone is going to a big bazaar and buying again, right? There's no way for me to track it. So I would say that 50% of people consider us as top three when they want to buy again. So that's good for us.
But you would have some idea on, at least, on the online, what is your repeat customer look?
Yeah, so online our repeat rates they hover depending on the time of the year between 55 to 50%.
Okay. And what is the average ticket size that you see online?
Typically between 600 to 800 rupees. In gifting season, right now we are bang in the middle of Valentine's Day gifting, right? So right now it kind of goes up to around 1200, 1300 rupees because people buy more gifts and all. But on business as usual, it's roughly between 600 to 800 rupees.
Shantanu, what will you gain out of Reckitt Benckiser and Colgate's investment? What have you gained so far, actually, because Colgate has been with you over the last 2 years?
Yeah. So, capital is one thing, but I think that people get capital from a lot of sources. These are iconic, huge businesses, right? $15 billion plus globally, built iconic brands, built categories. Oral care has been built by Colgate in 200 years. Reckitt is building many categories across health, hygiene, and nutrition. Um, we get a lot of benefit from them in many ways, right? Number one is we just get outstanding marketing expertise from their most senior executives. They are especially with Colgate over the last 2.5 years, we've had senior executives of Colgate come and spend time with my young team and tell us how do you launch a product in a new category? How do you frame packaging briefs? How do you think about a product and market fit? What stores work well? So very clear mentorship to a young team is very high. Second is offline distribution becomes the relationship becomes extremely important as we can leverage a lot of their skills, a lot of their knowledge, not directly or commercially, but just purely because of the relationships, right? And senior folks in the Colgate sales team have kind of helped us out multiple times with what distributor use, what is the how do you draft a scheme for a modern trade outlet which works for them, how do you own a shelf in the grooming category for men? stuff like that, which you would again have to learn on your own and take a lot of time. But they already have the knowledge and they share it with us. They come with us for meetings. In procurement, for example, we procure from a lot of the common manufacturers and vendors. So when we go with Colgate team, or when the manufacturer knows this is a Colgate investee company, the way they treat us is very different as opposed to treating another startup of our same size. They will treat us with a certain amount of respect and give us the cost benefits that they would pass on and so on. So I think it's amazing. And I think the most invaluable thing, Shaleen, is that when a young team like ours get access to problem solving environments, brainstorming ecosystems, people who question at a very deep level, uh, it really adds to the cerebral capacity of the team to think about FMCG in the right way. And even RB investment is much more recent, so we have not had enough opportunity with them. But the limited interaction that we've had with them, we are very clear and very encouraged about how invested they are in making our company successful. So I think, and most of all, they're patient, long-term, high capital kind of investors, right? So they have unlimited capital given the size and scale for people like us. So I just feel that they add huge value across the board, and the intent is very long-term, which is great for us.
Okay. And are you also looking at further rounds of investment, or are you done with this round?
No, no, we will of course look for capital. We have found high success in getting money from good people. That's helped the company grow. Raising money, but we always raise small amounts. If you notice, we don't raise, $100 million. We don't do that. We value our company realistically. We raise conservatively, and then we make sure that we have a return to investment capital metric very clearly in our minds, and something that the board discusses every quarter. So we will of course look for more investors who can add value.